spotlight, Hollywood frights. Tough guys gonna fight, sometime love can bite. Yeah. Car chases and sucking faces, starships battles with alien races. Make you laugh out loud, make you feel real proud. Animated delights and heroes in tights. Yeah. Movies so plenty you can watch all night, and all of them gonna be in the spotlight.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In the Spotlight and Attack of the Spotlight. My name is John Horton.
And I'm Kyle Pierson. And on this episode, if you're stuck at home because of ice or snow or just a lack of entertaining films at the theaters and you're not sure what to watch, we're going to talk about a few movies that we have seen recently that just came out on the streamers, on a variety of different streamers. So depending on which one you have, we probably have got something for it. And we're going to kick it off with a much anticipated, whether you were afraid it wasn't going to be as good as the original, or if you're thinking it was going to be better, there was always some controversy about the remake of the TOXIC Avenger. That is now streaming on Hulu, and John's going to tell us all about it.
You would throw it to me. Man, I was not a fan of this film. I love the original Toxic Avenger. I did not like this one. It did not have the same heart. It's gotten to the point where I accept if a reboot or a remake wants to go their own direction. And this one certainly did. This definitely took the idea, the idea of Toxic Avenger and made it their own. I just didn't like what they made out of it. There's a lot of things that are lacking from the remake, as far as the gore effects were. I didn't like them. They were all CGI, and they were all very apparent CGI. You could tell that it was CGI. I did not like the storyline very much. I thought it was a little bit much. I will say that Peter Dinklage and his acting when he was in human form was good. Peter Dinklage is the star. He is going to become the Toxic Avenger through events that by the nefarious corporation that is headed up by Kevin Bacon. What the fuck is Kevin Bacon and Peter Dinklage doing in a Toxic Avenger movie? And Elijah Wood? Good God. Elijah Wood looked a hell of a lot like the fucking Penguin, I thought.
You know, the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, he looks like somebody. Who the hell did he look like? That's right. He looks like the Penguin. You're right. He did.
I didn't really care for it. It just didn't grab me. It was like they were I don't know, they were really pumped up for it and trying to make it exciting, but it didn't thrill me. What'd you think?
There was this huge delay to getting it released. So I think it was finished in 2022.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit theaters until 2025, and we're just getting it streaming just now. So there was a lot of delay. I'm going to honestly, I liked it.
Oh my God.
I did. And my wife liked it. Well, I did.
What?
I think she was doing, she does this diamond art stuff now. And
my wife does too.
Yeah. So that is now what she does when I'm going to watch something that you've recommended. So she's like, oh, dear God. So she's like, all right, I'll at least get something done at the same time. But both of us are fans of Peter Dinklage, and we're like, okay, let's see what's going on. And both of us did like it. I think because we really thought we wouldn't. I think we went into this like, oh, this is really going to be, because it is. It's really hokey. It's really silly, but it is so silly. There's like almost a Naked Gun approach to it in some respects. I mean, every news item is exaggerated. Yeah. Every sign on, every billboard, everything is exaggerated. So I liked that. To me, it was the stuff in the background that kept the stuff in the foreground interesting. And I thought Peter Dinklage did a great job. They all did a great job. The only issues I had was one, there's like some abrupt edits
Yeah.
And then for as many people that was listed on the ADR in the credits as there were, it seemed like there was a lot of sound sync issues. And I was almost at one point thinking, I'm like, are we having a problem with Hulu today? Is Hulu was, off? Because, we ourselves have had some audio issues, but this is I know there was
Us?
some budget, huh? Yeah, once in a while we have some audio issues.
This show?
Yes, on this show here.
No.
Yeah.
This is nothing but professional, high quality,
Right
huge
here.
budget.
Huge budget. Huge. Not as big as okay. But anyway, um that was the only thing that really distracted me because it seemed like there was a lot of audio issues, especially once Dinklage is now, we moved on to the Toxic Avenger. Um, his voice isn't always matching with the lips that are moving.
Right.
And I know they're trying to sync all that together, but it didn't. It seemed to me anyway that it wasn't matching up as well as it should. Um, but beyond that, I actually was entertained. Um, I thought, some of the gore stuff was actually pretty funny because I didn't expect, the very first thing to see was somebody having their mouth ripped off. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, here we go, game on. So I enjoyed it. My wife surprisingly enjoyed it. So I think if you're a huge fan of the original, if I'm reading us correctly, you may not like this. And if you're not a huge fan of the original or a moderate fan, you may enjoy this for what it is. Um, would that be a fair assumption on my part?
I think it would. I think it would. What's really weird is, to me, this one seemed very, very juvenile, but yet the original one was very juvenile too.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's
But
I think
they couldn't pull it off in the remake for me.
hmm.
The level of juvenility was.
There's a fine line between my level of juvenility and John's level of juvenility, and it surprises me how many times we cross over. Because I was like, really? That one you like and I don't, or vice versa. I'm kind of shocked sometimes.
Now, I will throw in a couple things that I did like about this movie. It wasn't all a dislike. They did a lot of callbacks to the original Toxic Avenger. For example, well, first off, the biggest one is the town name on the sign. How
Mm-hmm.
they had parts of it dirtied up. I don't even
Yeah.
remember what the town name was, but when they dirtied up certain letters, it was Tromaville.
Yeah. Notice that. Yes.
That
Yes.
was great.
Yeah.
They had a kid in the remake with a safety hat for bicycle riding. In the original one, they had a kid wearing a safety hat for his bicycle. However, he got run over and his head got squished. There was a character there was a street named after one of the characters. I don't remember which one at this time. And there was a character named after somebody. So I like those little nods to the original.
Mhm.
I thought those were kind of cool. And the one thing that this movie did that this is a personal touch for me. When they were promoting this and getting ready to put it out, they said they were going to donate $5 million to this organization that pays off hospital debts or medical debts for
Oh,
people.
wow.
And
Wow, that's
this is legit. I think that it was called. I don't remember what the organization was called. I'll put something in here on the bottom or top of what the organization was called. And there was a thing that they also did along the same lines that for every $1 million that the movie made or something like that, they would donate even more to this organization. And I like that was pretty cool. However, the really cool part is, son of a bitch, I got 2 letters in the fucking mail, one for me and one for Stacy. And it said that our debt had cleared, and I didn't even think about it, didn't even realize it. I read the company and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. that some I don't even know why they took care of the day. It was fucking Toxic Avenger.
Boy.
Toxic Avenger took over two of our hospital bills.
Wow.
I was like, get the fuck out of here. I was
Wow.
shocked as shit. Yes.
That's incredible.
I was like, son of a bitch. When I seen it at the end, I was like, oh, no, I actually looked it up in trivia on IMDb. There was part of
Mhm.
their trivia on there, and it lists the company. But I went, wait a minute. We just had some of our debt cleared by the same company. Holy shit.
That
Toxic
is
Avenger
cool.
paid my fucking bills. So I can't give it too much hate.
I was gonna say
That's why I'm being
I wouldn't
nice.
be able to give it any hate. That's honorable. That's
I
honorable.
loved it. I thought it was a great thing when they were announced that they were doing it, and then I'm a personal um, recipient of it. It's amazing.
Well, then you know it's legit. Then you know it's
Yes,
legit.
they weren't bullshitting around.
All right. Well, another famed franchise has returned once again. Star Trek, Starfleet Academy.
This I can't wait to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Let me adjust here. Can you read that whole thing?
Nope.
Yeah, that didn't
I
come out
got
the way.
our fleet academy. Ep into your
Weird.
future.
That's weird. Hmm. Okay. Well, you know what it says. Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Not sure why that's cropped like that. But anyway, we're back to the future again. This takes place during the Discovery era of where we took place after the burn. We're at Starfleet Academy, and we've got a lot of young men and women who, you are training to be Starfleet officers. Um, you've got
Pretty
a,
basic
you've got
idea.
You've got every nationality. You've got aliens. You've got Klingons. You've got a hologram. You've got returning characters. I won't. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to give that away because that's some of the nice surprise of who's in it.
Okay.
Um, and then you've got Holly Hunter's feet and her sitting position that the internet can't quit talking about. Um,
Are they
so
saying good or bad about it? I haven't seen anything.
they're saying bad about it. Basically, they're saying she's not appreciating the captain's chair. They're saying that, because she doesn't, even if she sits in it incorrectly, she should have shoes on. And, she was kind of like, I didn't even want to, necessarily be in this position in the first place. And so it's an interesting concept, kind of like with Star Trek. What was the movie, the 31? All of a sudden, I forgot.
Oh,
The
Section 31?
Section 31, yes, Section 31, where in your mind, you know, because they referred to it so much, this is what it's going to be like. And then when they make a movie or a TV series about it, you're like, this is not in any way how I thought they would go about doing this. I think this is the problem with this. It's a lot more juvenile
Yeah.
than
High
you
levels of juvenility.
yeah, and I think twice on two different occasions I mentioned to my wife, I'm like, this is like the One Tree Hill of Star Trek. Somebody actually posted it should be called One Trek Hill. So there's and it's a mixed bag as far as the fans go. Half of them like it, half of them don't. Nothing new there. Every show has its issues. I think if I wanted to see a Starfleet Academy series, I would have preferred it take place in the original, the earlier years as opposed to the newer years. But because the whole thing's about the burn and them trying to rebuild everything, but yet everything seems like it's pretty rebuilt. I don't know, but I will say off the bat, I wasn't a fan of it to begin with. I was like, okay, this is probably not catered to me. This is kind of like if you take the current Star Trek Strange New Worlds and all the bizarre stuff that they do in there, and then you've got Lower Decks, which was primarily aimed at a younger audience. This is like in here. This is like a gap for here, where okay, maybe we'll bring on some new fans and this is going to be their starting point. We're at Starfleet Academy, and then we'll carry them on, much like the Clone Wars did for Star Wars. Um, so I don't think I necessarily need to be the target audience for this one, but I will say it is growing on me. I've seen the 3 episodes that are currently available. There'll be 4 by the time this airs. And the third one, again, they're doing little pranks. They're doing, there's little love triangles. It's same old, same old. But it's going to take a while to flesh out all the characters. There's so many characters, and there's going to be arcs. All right, I hate this character, and I hate this character. Well, the idea, I'm sure, is by the time this is over, you're going to love all these characters. But, you got to start off with the good guys and the bad guys. So I think I'll get there, and already by episode 3, I'm liking it a little bit more. This is definitely not one of my favorite Star Trek series, but it's at least more fun. I know a lot of people really love Deep Space Nine. To me, that one was so dark. I just didn't really find the fun in it as much, so I think this one at least has a lighter edge to it. So we'll see where it goes from there. What are you thinking?
Well, first off, I want to say I loved Deep Space Nine.
Did you?
Loved
Okay.
it. That was my favorite out of the whole everything that they've
Really?
done. Yes.
Really? Okay.
And that was because it was so dark and it was the first one I felt, the first series that actually had a continuing storyline.
I
You
did.
know,
Yeah, that was the first. I think maybe that might have been my problem because I started working at a TV station and we aired the first 3 series. And I could jump into the first and second one anywhere. Doesn't matter because it's
right.
every episode self-contained. But you got into that one and you had to watch it from the beginning because you get in the middle of it and I'm like, what? There's some war going on. Who are these people? I'm like, I had no idea, and I was expected to know stuff I didn't know. And that
Right.
was, I think, what turned me off enough that I didn't even bother to go back and start watching it from the beginning. I had seen episodes. I saw that was the one where they go back to the Tribble episode. I like that. I saw the one,
That was
the
good.
Area 51 episode. So there's a lot of these, I did see, but it was the lighthearted ones that really resonated with me. But yeah, some of the other ones, I'm like, I can't follow the story. I don't know what's going on. There's a
Right.
war, and but yeah, I think if you started from the beginning as you did, I assume you probably watched it night 1 and kept watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
started right from the very start. I loved it. As far as Starfleet Academy, worst fucking intro theme for a Star Trek series of all fucking time. I think if they made 100 more different Starfleet or Star Trek shows, they could not top this intro at all as far as badness. I hate the fucking intro. You remember Enterprise?
Very-
It's been a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It doesn't. All of a sudden, you're like, this is a Star Trek show, right? And they didn't even have Star Trek in the title the first season. It was just Enterprise. So I'm like, people are not going to realize this is Star Trek. This is a problem.
Enterprise's intro is better than this.
Hmm.
Besides that, though, so far I am enjoying it. I gotta admit, I love Holly Hunter's lounging in the chair and the feet. I like it. I think it's an
Well, you're a
interesting
feet
take.
guy, so your browser history has a whole section just on feet. So
We're not supposed. That part's getting edited out, man. But
he
no,
knows all. Stacy knows all about it.
that's true. I won't tell you how. I'm,
Anyway,
I don't suck toes and tell. I really don't.
I think we always get to a point. I'm like, okay, this is where we need to stop, and you do it every time. One more layer. Okay.
I like that. What I like Holly Hunter. I have a hard time listening to her, but I like her lounging around and be. I don't know. There's just something about it that's I like. The cast isn't bad. I do have a little bit of a problem with. Again, it's kind of like Section 31, where everybody has to have a quirk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got a Klingon that doesn't like war. You've got a hologram. Yeah, I wish you had
That
more
doesn't
normal
act
people.
like a hologram.
What's that?
A hologram that doesn't act in any way like a hologram.
Yeah, because she's going through her adolescence. She's what? It's a
Yeah,
fucking I don't understand the hologram. How does a hologram go through adolescent years?
I guess they're programmed to do that, which is the reason why you would design a hologram is so that you don't have to deal with it. So, yeah.
I mean, just program the fucking hologram to be a Starfleet officer, for fuck's sake. No,
Like
send
the
it to
other
school.
ones. Well, that's the thing. We bring back a hologram from, 700 years ago. They're like, okay, so this one, and again, I won't say, well, I guess I just did give it away.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So anyway, so much for that. But
Spoiler
so
alert.
yeah. So regardless, 700 years later, for some reason, we need that exact same hologram, aged a few years. But then we have hologram technology where we can do,
I don't get it.
Yeah,
But
it's a stretch to give you something new that you haven't seen before.
yeah, but so far I'm liking the show. I'm enjoying it. Some of it I'm just like, wait a minute. Like I understand the history that the main character has with Holly Hunter. I understand that. I don't think they should be so familiar with each other though in this show, where he just at the end of the episode he just goes and hangs out with her. That to me that doesn't seem quite right. I don't know. Maybe it's just me,
Yeah.
but yeah, so far I like it. It's quirky. I'm not in love with it.
It
But I'll
feels like
watch it.
Discovery. Because Discovery, we had the same thing where you had, the captain that wasn't really, ready for the captain's chair, and the rogue guy who isn't part of Starfleet, who's becoming part of Starfleet, and a missing mother, and I was like, there are a bunch of elements from Discovery that are in this show, and it's like, okay, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I would still like to see an Enterprise C story. I know about A, B, D. Where is C? Was there ever a C episode of a show that I've missed?
I'm sure there was.
I don't remember ever seeing an Enterprise C.
It might have been in the movies.
No, I know it's not in the movies.
Well,
The movies I know a lot better than the series.
let's find out.
Yeah, but I was just
I
like,
love
there's
Gemini.
but
New technology. Was there an Enterprise C?
Yes, there absolutely was. In the Star Trek universe, the USS Enterprise, NCC-1701C, is a crucial, though tragic piece of the franchise's history. If the original Enterprise was the Pioneer and the D from the Next Generation was the luxury flagship, the C was the bridge between them, both in design and in the timeline. The basics,
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Ambassador class.
first it was a C. You couldn't have a D without a C.
The first woman ship to command an Enterprise.
How does she shut up? Shut up! Stop talking!
2, 3.
I know there was. Yeah. See, I think you asked the wrong question. Yes, there was a C. When did it appear in the show?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It
Uh,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
well, there
That's what I'm
was.
just saying. The problem is if they make it now, it's going to be so futuristic because for some reason these people can't write in the past. It's like, okay, if we're going to write it now, we have to have all this futuristic stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, why do you have to change the ship? Why do you have to change, just you know, keep it the way it
Well,
was.
well, you got to admit, I mean, if they made it in the past with today's technology, it just wouldn't cut it. If they made the original series, if they remade it like it was back then today, there wouldn't be the fan base would, I mean, they wouldn't get views because everything's got to be so fresh and shiny and new. I think
Well,
it's
see,
in their best interest to keep it in the future. That way they don't have to worry about trying to replicate everything from the past.
I
I mean, look at,
understand that. It's just like, we've got a Star Trek show right now that's taking place during Star Trek, the original Star Trek time with
but does
all
it
this
feel like it?
futuristic stuff. That's why they keep having to say, okay, well, uh, don't have the holograms anymore because that freaks me out. So we have to they're trying to dismantle everything that they're building on to
Right.
appease the Star Trek fans. So if they had just kept it the way it was originally, there would also be the nostalgia of, oh my God, we really are back on the same ship, as opposed to, okay, well, I guess this is that version of the same ship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
And again, I can understand it in the movies because we went back, the timeline had changed. So when they built everything at a different time after, kind of like Japan, we did when the reason why Japan built up so well is because they were involved in the war, so they had to build it up so they had new stuff. So when Star Trek, the Romulans went back in time with Spock and blah 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 blah. Okay, we're going to have a completely different looking ship because it would have been built under different circumstances as it was the first time around. But when you're back on the exact same ship that you should have been from the first one, it should be the same ship, which I think this is the exact opposite argument I made when we reviewed the show. Because now it's starting to bother me. I don't know. But again, I was like, okay, you got to get past that. It's the writing. Writing's really what makes or breaks it. If the writing's good, I'll forgive anything that happens. It's just right now, it's written as a teen comedy that they put in space and slap Star Trek on it. I mean, that's what it feels like right
I'll
now.
agree. I agree.
I'm sure we're going to get past that point, and I will stick with it. But I've had the same. To me, I've always been a big Star Wars fan. I'm a Star Trek fan, a Doctor Who fan. Like right now, it seems like everything is getting oversaturated. There's so many doctors now in Doctor Who. There's so many Star Trek TV shows. There's so many Star Wars TV shows, and Star Wars has got the young Jedi adventures and all these different series. This is aimed for adults. This one's for little kids. This is for teenagers. So yeah, this whether I stick out the whole thing, I don't know. It's aimed for another audience. Me being a moderate Star Trek fan, I'm finding it interesting enough to stick with it for now.
Right.
So I just hope that and taking place in the Discovery era gives you the opportunity to bring in Discovery people, and I would like to see more of those cast members um, here on the show.
I
So
can only think of one person from Discovery that I'd want to see, and that'd be Doug Jones' character,
yes,
Saru.
yes, no, that's not it.
What was
It's
his name?
I don't remember,
All right.
but he was my favorite character, and I can't remember his name either.
He was fucking cool. And did you
Yeah.
notice in one of the episodes they had his race as one of the students in there?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
walking with his arms all flopping back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
forth.
I noticed that, and I'm like, I think that Saru. That's
Yeah.
his name. Saru. You said Shuru.
You say tomato, I say potato.
Frankenstein.
It's
So
not Igor, it's Igor, or whatever the fuck it was in
that was
Young
Igor
Frankenstein.
Igor.
One other thing I want to say about Starfleet Academy, just get your thoughts on before we move off of this one. Um, and I'm gonna fucking butcher it. Paul Giamatti, is that his name?
Yes.
Did I
No,
pronounce
you
it right?
got it. You got it. Congratulations.
What'd you think of him as a villain?
I love Paul Giamatti.
So do
I
I.
like him. I like him in everything. Even if I don't necessarily like the movies, like Sideways, I did not enjoy Sideways. He won an Academy Award for it, I believe. I thought he was fantastic in the role. It's just to me that movie was just dragged and dragged and dragged.
Right.
But I to see him get the Academy Award, I'm like, or whatever he got, Golden Globe, whatever. Fantastic, because he is really good. I think I thought it was a weird way to start the show.
Right.
Because it's like, well, I think they're trying to show us it's going to have the same action as Star Trek, but it seemed almost too early to get into that. Like, all
Right.
right, how about we actually have some training and some school and then have something happen? But I know why they did it. They're like, okay, this is going to be action packed too. Just hold on, we'll be getting back to it in
Yeah.
just a bit. And I assume, yeah, we're going to see a lot of him over the
Yeah.
course of the series.
I was not really a fan. I love him. I even liked him in that Spider-Man movie where he played Rhino with the bad accent.
That was I think that was he couldn't save that one.
No, no.
That was bad. That was
I
bad.
think though so
Even
far.
Spider-Man series, the other movie made fun of that. So
I think in Starfleet Academy though, I think he's probably the weirdest overall bad guy, the main bad guy that they've ever had. I mean, all the other ones that they've ever had, Khan in both versions, and the dude from Nemesis, they've all been so fucking serious, and this guy's like menacing to some degree, but kind of in like a bully way, you know?
yeah,
He feels more like a bully than a
it fits in with the whole idea of of school. They're getting bullied around, and this is just a big bully.
I
Maybe
can go
we're going
along.
to find out one of these people goes into the future, becomes this guy, and comes back, and he's getting revenge on the people that bullied him back in school.
Oh my God, please no. Next movie.
Next movie. This one you should be able to read the whole thing. By the way, Star Trek is on Paramount Plus. This is The Rip on Netflix, starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. What do you think of them apples? Anyway, I thought that line should be in there somewhere in the movie.
Yeah,
I
it
think you
should.
should just bring in some apples. What do you think of them apples? Just thought that was the dumbest line in that freaking movie.
That would have been good.
Anyway, um, they play agents who have stumbled on to a major drug bust after a tip comes through. And there's also some backstory where there's a relationship with the former captain of this unit and Ben Affleck's character. And you're trying to find out who is the good cops, who are the bad cops. And I saw the trailer, and I was somewhat intrigued because of who's in it. But I've seen a lot of good cop, bad cop, TV series and movies over the years. So my wife and I were kind of on the fence about it. And we're like, well, let's give it a start. And I think my wife was about to bail on it at first because you have the traditional bad cop or the cop dialogue where it's really got to be edgy and gritty and they got to say they shouldn't and you're like, okay, yeah, I've heard this exact same dialogue in 17 movies just this year. And this year's only been 3 weeks long. So So I'm like, okay, I already heard this. Then it starts to get a little bit more intriguing, and there's a major shootout, and then all of a sudden it starts getting really intense.
Yeah.
And I was really kind of floored by like, all right, they're not playing games with this movie. And when it was all said and done, my wife and I were both very happy that we stuck with it. And we thought it was a very enjoyable film. And we got to see it for free in the comfort of our own home. What'd you think?
I liked it. I agree with you. I'm pretty much the same way. The beginning of well, first off, the beginning of this one, I'm like, what the flying fuck is going on? Because they go from the captain getting killed to this interview thing, and then something else, and then back to the interview, and then I'm like, what the fuck am I
Oh
watching?
yeah, yeah, with flashbacks and shit. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
oh
was just
man,
really hard to follow. And already I'm going, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this.
yep,
And
yep.
then they start talking. I hate it when they talk. Just shut up and take it. um, they start talking, and you're right. It's the same fucking dialogue that we've heard. And they're being crass and crude and fucking F-bomb and shithead, all that kind of shit. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
okay, so far, nothing new, nothing exciting, nothing to keep me around. But then it started getting intriguing. And I found myself as the movie progressed, just getting tossed around, going, wait a minute, is he doing this? Oh, wait, maybe she's doing that. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's this. Maybe and it was really a fulfilling movie to finish off watching because they had the way they filmed it and wrote it was it could have been anybody being a dirty cop or a bad cop or none of them. You
Mhm.
couldn't really tell until it finished up and the final resolution comes out. I really enjoyed what they did with it.
Yeah, no, I was the same way, and I forgot about yeah. There are three or four flashbacks, and that's the new thing. They have to jump into where we are, and then say, oh, something hours ago, and they're like, okay, and I know you want to use that to get me into it, and because if you showed me all the flashbacks first, maybe I wouldn't be as interested. So I guess it worked because we sat through it.
Yes.
But yeah, it just didn't at the time. It was really testing
Yeah.
my wife and I because there's when you're in a theater, that's one thing. You're rarely going to walk out. But when you're on Netflix, there's 600 other brand new things that you can flip to. And we really debated it, and we were all glad we did. So if you start watching it or have started watching it and gave up on it, go a few minutes past where you are, because I have a feeling you'll get back into the rip. So that one we both agree on.
I think it really picked up for me when they bashed through the wall and found the stuff behind the wall.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh shit, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do?" Then I was like, "Uh-huh."
Yeah, I was the same way. I was like, okay, here we go. Yeah, this just feels like every other good cop, bad cop movie. And then that takes you for a little spin. So definitely, if you get the opportunity, check out The Rip on Netflix. We both seem to be enjoying for now, anyway, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, hoping it boosts up a little bit as it goes. And then for the Toxic Avenger, uh, John says watch the original, and I
Yeah.
say if you want a quirky time, check out the new one. I think you'll like it. Before we go, there's a few other things that came out recently that we want to talk to you about. First of all, I just wrapped up about a couple hours before we watched this. Mel Brooks, the 99-year-old man. It's a two-part documentary on HBO Max,
Two part.
exploring everything from him being in World War II. I wasn't aware that he actually fought in World War II,
He
but he
thought,
did. He fought in World War II, which is why he liked to make fun of Hitler so much. It wasn't the fact that he just didn't like the guy. He, was fighting against the man, and a lot of people said, you shouldn't be doing this type of thing. And he's like, after all the crap that he's done to me, I'm going to make fun of him. So I'm like, you know what? You've earned that right. You
Damn
certainly
right.
have earned that right. And all the way up to the fact that they're, currently making Spaceballs 2, which won't release until 2027, which means he
Fuck.
will be 100 years old. Um, but there's a lot of interesting things in there. Not only that, but the fact that his production company is responsible for The Elephant Man, The Fly, films that you would not assume were Mel Brooks films, but came under a division of his company because he didn't want people walking in expecting comedies when they were
Right.
serious dramas. So if you want to know how to succeed in Hollywood and what kind of shit you're going to have to put up with while doing so. This is a great two-part documentary because sometimes that seems like way too much because it's almost 4 hours long total. Um,
Wow.
we watched the first 2 hours yesterday, the second 2 hours today, loved it. So definitely check out Mel Brooks's The 99-Year-Old Man on HBO Max. Also, returning seasons just started recently on Amazon for Fallout and Beast Games. Beast Games, I had an issue with the first few episodes because now people are starting not to play the games. That's their technique to win by not playing the games. And that's why people watch. So you want to kill a show, you go on and you don't freaking play the games. Fortunately, he's figuring out a way to make them have to play the games. So I applaud that. But it was starting off a bit rocky. Fallout, on the other hand, was a series that last year we weren't sure if we were going to continue on with. I'll tell you what, I hate that freaking game. I rented one of the Fallouts. It starts, you're in this abandoned warehouse and you're fighting big old cockroaches or something. I couldn't get out of that damn building to save my life. I, I'm going in every room, every corridor. I couldn't get out. So I really didn't want to watch this freaking movie because I'm like, you know what? The hell with this. I gave up on the game. The series is very bizarre. I like bizarre. It seemed a little too much. This new season is a bit more intriguing, and it's now we've become big fans of it, both me and my wife. So that's telling you something because again, that's something that she wouldn't necessarily get into, or hers hanging out with me. She's starting to expand her horizons on what she likes and doesn't because all of a sudden she seems to like stuff I never thought in a million years she would like. But both Beast Games and Fallout are now in mid-season 2 on Amazon. You got anything you've been watching, John?
Well, I've actually sat down with my mother-in-law and we watched Cross. That was on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
It is based on the James Patterson books. They're
Mhm.
the very popular James Patterson books. This one it's more true to those books than the movies were, because there was two
Mhm.
movies that character was also in.
Mhm.
This is much more true to those books. It's a really good series, very intriguing, very exciting. Cliffhangers at the end of each episode. Definitely worth watching. We have started the TV show Countdown with Jensen Ackles
Mhm.
and a whole bunch of other people that I'm not real familiar with. But it's another one of the cop shows. These guys are part of a task force, a special task force that was put together because a Department of Homeland Security guy was killed, and he was receiving a bribe. They thought, well, it was all set up, and now they found out that there's enough nuclear radioactive shit brought into Los Angeles to make a bomb that would make Hiroshima look like a firecracker, and it's up to them to find the man responsible and stop him from blowing up LA. Pretty standard stuff. So far, it's pretty enjoyable. Um,
And
Also watched a movie today. I don't know how it's a newer movie. I don't know how new it is, but it was called Cold Meat. That was also on Amazon Prime. Was it? Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure it was on Prime. And this one is a flick about a guy who is driving in a winter storm, a blizzard. This would have fit in great with our winter movie episode.
Uh, Speaking about that whole winter episode, I had two bad episodes in a row, and I have to apologize. It's because I didn't really quite grasp what we were talking about. Not a movie that makes you feel like you're cold. I'm sitting there thinking, well, it's got to take place in winter. So since then, I've come up with a couple ones. So next year, man, I'm going to be all over that one. And then the soundtrack one. We're sitting there, we're talking about soundtracks, and I go, and I'm like, well, Beverly Hills Cop is about a Detroit police officer. I'm like, no, talk about the people on the damn soundtrack. What the hell are you talking about the movie for? I have been either sick or got allergies or something since Christmas Eve. So I'm not thinking straight. And I really, really blew those two episodes up. So just as we're getting this podcast going and we're really needing to be on our best things, I am completely so I apologize for that. And from here on out, you're not going to get anything but the absolute best quality and best storytelling from John and I. You want to hear a
It's
story?
it's okay, Kyle. I don't mind picking up your slack.
I understand it.
Somebody's got to.
I understand it. You want to hear a story? We haven't deviated off course.
Oh,
So,
Christ.
so should we deviate off course?
I think we should. I think everyone's come to expect it.
Okay, so here's the story. So already not feeling good with all the stuff going on. We're getting ice coming. So we know we need to get to the store and get some firewood and some water. Because last time we had a really big ice storm in Texas, we lost water for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh,
So
shit.
fortunately, we got enough snow that we were melting snow. We were putting it in the toilet so we could actually flush the freaking toilets. The city of San Antonio was fantastic because they gave out free cases of water and helped everybody when they were in need. I didn't want to get to the point where I was in need, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to make sure I've got some cords of wood and a couple cases of water. Not hoarding any, but just being prepared. So we go to the store, and of course, everybody else is stocking up to the moon and all this, and so for the first time, I'm like, okay, Paula, since I'm going to be having a cart with wood and water, it's going to take up most of the cart. So you get all the food that you want for groceries. I'll get the stuff we need for the damn ice storm. And then I will then go to the car, drop mine stuff off. I'll order pizza. We'll grab pizza at the Little Caesars that's in the same exact parking lot. And then we'll go. Can't be piece of cake. Piece of cake. So I go in, I get done real quick. And as I'm pushing my cart, I realized I had taken my key to her car out of my pocket. So I'm like, because I had too many things in my pocket earlier that day, so I took it out. I always have it on me. Always, always, always have it on me, except for the one time I'm actually going to be at her car without her in it. So I'm like, son of a... So I text her. I'm like, just so you know, I'm going to be waiting outside of your car. So get here as soon as you can. So we had parked next to the pizza place because all the parking lot was pretty much filled. So I'm like, okay, well, it's part of the same parking lot. So just park next to the pizza place. So I'm pushing the cart, and all of a sudden the cart stops. They've got one of those things that stops the cart from moving. But it doesn't include the entire parking lot. It includes their portion, but it doesn't include the plaza that's also in their parking lot. So I'm a good 60 feet away from where the car is, in a cart filled with wood and water. It's heavy as hell. I'm right in the middle of the lane, right? So cars are like, honking. I'm like, oh. So I grab the car and I'm yanking it. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I'll just push it forward. Do you think it unlocks if you push it back? No. It is now officially locked. You can't go forward. You can't get back. So I'm holding this thing and I'm dragging it. And I'm dragging it. And I'm dragging it. I'm like, oh my God. So I get back. And I'm like, all right. So I text her. I'm like, I can't get the cart to the car because it locks up at the edge. So you're going to have to meet me here, give me the key, and then I'll run and we'll move the car and all this stuff. She says, I'm in line and it's going to be another 20 minutes. He says, there's so many people here. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm waiting and I'm not in a good spot because cars are just flying by. And I'm like, son of a, I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to drag it all the way to the car. So I'm dragging it and I'm dragging it. I get to the car. Oh, I forgot. I'd ordered the pizza already. So I ordered the pizza that was going to take 15 minutes to get there, and she's going to be in line for at least 20 more minutes. So the pizza's already done, and I'm sitting there, and there's nothing I can do. So then you see all these other people doing the exact same thing I did. They're pushing their cart, boom! And I see one, and they're moving all their stuff from one cart into another, and I'm like, it's not going to work. So they get it and move, and they're like, well, he got there, and I'm like, I dragged it. So we're back and forth. This other woman starts walking across. She's looking at me like, what are you? I'm like, no, not you. So finally my wife comes out and she's coming right at me. I'm like, no, 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 stop, stop, stop. I'm like, click, click, click. So then she clicks the stuff. I throw all the stuff in. I'm dragging the cart back over. She gets all of her stuff. We take it all, boom, stick it in there. We get our pizza, and by the time we get to eat the pizza, it's like 50 some goddamn minutes after we'd ordered it. Cold as hell. So, long story short, if you're shopping, don't expect to be able to move that cart to the other thing. I couldn't freaking believe it. I'm like, come on. So
Wow.
that's my little ridiculous item. We had to have something that didn't fit with the show. So there you go. And I was good enough to leave it to the end. So
That was very thoughtful of you.
yeah, see, people want the good stuff. If they care about that, they'll wait. If they don't care about that, they could have turned it off 20 minutes
Exactly.
ago.
But for that being so thoughtful to hold it off to the end, how come you weren't thoughtful enough with the cart to begin with?
What do you mean? I didn't think of the fact that I could move the cart.
Yeah, why didn't you just like
There's even signs. They have signs up saying you can't move your cart from behind you, but they've got like all this. No one's looking at this sign. You wouldn't think, oh, there's a sign. Maybe I should read it. No, it's just a small little sign hanging up there. It's not my fault. I wasn't trying to steal. And the thing is, if you're going to do it, put it at the edge, because you're still not going to steal the cart, past the edge of the whole thing. They're the one that builds the place. They're the ones that build the plaza inside their own store. So why don't you allow the carts to get... Anyway, coming up in future episodes, we have our favorite buddy films, and what's the other thing we're doing?
we're doing the greatest scores
Greatest scores. That's right.
and
Oh, another one. Okay.
we have Valentine's Day is coming up soon. So we're going to talk about rom-coms again. It's our second annual rom-com episode.
That's right. Or the first one for Attack of the Spotlight. For those of you who aren't aware, In the Spotlight's been running for a full year. We've had a couple seasons of In the Spotlight. We are now on your favorite podcast services as Attack of the Spotlight. You can hear many of the old interviews, some of the older or some of the newer shows. I'm trying to get some other stuff on as well that we've done in the past. Some of it just needs to be re-edited because it's not going to make a lot of sense without some of the visuals attached. But if you search Attack of the Spotlight, you'll be able to hear us, but not see us. If you want to continue to see us, keep checking out YouTube or Facebook. We're on facebook.com/In the Spotlight. So make sure you tune into those. We'll have all those episodes coming up in the weeks ahead. For John Horton, I'm Kyle Pierson, and you've been watching In the Spotlight and listening to Attack of the Spotlight. Thanks for watching.
Dun, dun, dun,
Thanks for listening.
dun.
Dun.